All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless Dave back again, talking about real music, real issues, and doing so in real time for a few real people just like you and just like me. All right, so Meatloaf is no longer with us. He's dead. All right, Meatloaf is dead. So Meatloaf is fair game. You can smear Meatloaf. Reminds me of a Don Henley song, kick them when they're up, kick them when they're down, kick them when they're stiff, kick them all around. All right, that's pretty simple. Henley had this figured out in the early 80s and was already, she can tell you about the plane crash with a gleam in her eye. That's exactly, look, it's just become now more divisive, more political. There's this team over here, there's that team over there. I play for Team Reality, okay? And I also play for Team Medical Privacy. All right, there are a number of teams I play for, and these are the teams that are actually outlined in the United States Constitution. I know it's a document that is now a waste of time for most people. They don't really care. They may say they believe in it. They may put their hand on the Bible and swear allegiance to it, but they're not doing anything about it. In other words, it's just ceremonial, right? So Howard Stern, look, I get the whole shock jock thing, right? But to say that Meatloaf was in a cult because maybe he died from this thing or with this thing would be more accurate. Not from, but with. As I've already stated a couple of times, and this is no dig on Meatloaf, he was a walking comorbidity, and he had been one for quite some time. That's pretty apparent. But to come out and say, if he had just done the thing, it would have solved all his problems. And Meatloaf, I know at one point said, hey, if I die, I die. He wanted to live his life on his terms. Now, again, this is assuming, right, that this is a really good, effective way to prevent this stuff. On the flip side, on the other side, where the cult is, right, that would be where my team is. There have been people who have been, well, shall we say, playing a sport, right, especially over in Europe. A lot of soccer over there. They call it football, but you know what I'm saying. So players running down the field, healthy 25-year-olds, and boom, down on the ground. What's that all about? Well, see, the filtered media hasn't covered any of that. What the filtered media does is they pretend that didn't happen. If Meatloaf was in such a cult, why did thousands of people show up last weekend? The other day, right, there was this hearing. Senator Ron Johnson, pretty smart guy, got together some very smart people. Dr. Malone, Dr. McCullough, the most banned human beings on the planet right now. Filtered media. We can't handle the truth. We can't have different opinions here. We have to walk in lockstep for the greater good. So when Robert F. Kennedy invokes Anne Frank, right, and the media loses their mind, and then they say there are absolutely no parallels between what happened with her and what is happening now, that's complete BS. And these guys just lose their mind. They've lost their mind when it comes to the whole psychology thing, right? The other day, I came out and I'm for psychology. Just want to put it out there. I'm pro psychology, but the writers over at Rolling Stone seem to think that college level basic psychology 101 is not really a thing anymore. It's just a shiny new concept that the people on my side of this issue believe in, and therefore we should be tarnished, trashed, and in the case of Meatloaf, smeared. Look, Meatloaf lived his life the way he wanted to. He was literally a bigger than life character. And I'm not sure why Howard Stern really cares, because most of these people have said, right, that, hey, who cares if these people don't want to do this and they keel over? Good riddance to them. That's their point of view. I'm like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if there was some other information available to all of these people where they could maybe attempt to deal with this problem prior to just waiting and being isolated and being fearful, locked down, and then there are more restrictions. By the way, there's this little caravan of cult truck members, right, that are driving through Canada right now. And they're being, again, filtered out. The filtered media filters it out, says there are no truck drivers. This is not 100 kilometers of trucks protesting what is happening to them, because they want to force them to do this stuff. They want to force, if this thing is so amazing and so wonderful, why no? And again, because the filtered media filters out all the objections and you can't hear them out loud. That, and again, I've said this in other videos, that's not informed consent. Howard, that's not informed consent, right? I'm glad you did it 11 times, how many times you want to do it. Good for you. That's your body. That's your choice. Meatloaf chose a different path. And by the way, we don't know all the details about the Meatloaf situation still. We don't. We know he went on social media. We know this and that and the other, but we don't know, right? The cause, will it be released? I don't know. They don't have to release the cause. They're not releasing the cause. You know, his buddy, Jim Steinman, last year, no cause of death. Just, and everybody, wow, Jim Steinman, that's horrible. That's horrible. And it looked a little weird. He was only 71. By the way, Bob Saget was 65, right? What happened to Bob Saget? Oh, well, the media's got that covered. Bob Saget just had a mystery heart attack, and that was the end of Bob Saget. Okay, filtered. And then Bob Saget was on, see, Meatloaf was on describing his problem too on social media, and Bob Saget did the same thing. In fact, he basically made a joke about the booster seat and all that stuff, and that looked fairly clear-cut and obvious what he was talking about, right? So what's the difference? Well, Bob Saget was 65, Meatloaf was 74, and Meatloaf was chronically overweight for most of his life, off and on, fluctuated. So again, rather than using common sense, we get the filter and we filter it all out. The filtering media, that's what they are. And if you watch filtered media, you're doing yourself a great disservice. You need to go off the grid. You need to take a chance. You need to look at things that they're telling you not to look at. It's really pathetic how somebody passes away and they politicize it to this degree, because this is all political. Because one team believes in this stuff, the other team doesn't believe in it. And it seems to be right now that narrative is starting to collapse. So some of these people are getting real crazy in their critiques. But, you know, I live in a place right now, it's open, thriving, you know, a little too cold for this time of year, but I will deal with it because I know that the people, most of them who run this place, want us to be free and want us to be open for business. And again, the worst thing that Meatloaf said, by the way, is it's my life. If I die, I die, right? I'll take my chances. And I think most of us are there. Most of us, you know, we're trying to eat right. We're trying to be healthy. I have a lot of work to do in that area. But I'm a survivor too, right? I'm a survivor. I could get the t-shirt. And I didn't follow the Howard Stern protocol. Didn't do it. So just throwing it all out there. Thanks for watching. All of you new subs, thank you. All of this media attention, it's really kind of weird, and I'll take it while I can get it. The 15 minutes are going to end shortly, but I appreciate everybody out there. Keep in mind, if you're over on Patreon, I'm a one-man show, and I'm getting a lot of messages and a lot of different things over there, which I can answer most of them. They're probably going to be short answers just because, and that, in fact, I type like crap. So, and my text, audio to texting seems to suck as well. So just put it all out there for you so you know where I'm coming from. I'm not trying to ignore people or slight anybody. Again, I don't have a team here like these big media conglomerates. They can have a couple of people answering the messages and probably not giving you an honest answer back. So I will continue to try to do that. And again, Patreon, $1 a month if you want to support the channel, $2 a month, whatever you want to do. I hate to sound like Tim Pool here, but once you become a little more into this stuff, what happens is they put a bullseye right on your back. And so if I have to run to a different platform full time, it would be nice to have a few people that can continue to support the work and listen to me and all that good stuff. I'm trying again to use Rumble a little bit, but for now, you just let the chips fall where they may and take it one day at a time. All right. Thanks again. See you soon.